Hello my felting friends, welcome to this week's video. This week we're going to do a lovely owl, and it's one from the Enchanted Forest series, so this is November's one. So I hope you like it, I hope you like the little video, and we'll crack on and I'll show you how I've done it. So we're going to start off with a medium looking blue like that and some black. If you have a navy blue, anything like that's fine. We're going to have a fairly dark outer edge to this picture, so as long as it's darkish you'll be fine. So I'm just mushing it. I want to mix it fairly well, it doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to go for a sort of, what would you call it, like a marshlandy, because it's still, I don't want to completely get rid of the kind of spooky vibe, so we're going to have like hanging moss and things. That's what I'm kind of going for, but we want to come out of the Halloween bit now. So I'm going to do the outer edges in this very dark colour. And you can see how dark I'm making it because I want this bottom bit to be really dark, so I've actually added some more black. It's fine to be adding black and things because we're going to go over it. I just want to really darken it down, but I didn't want to lose the blue completely, because blue is a good shadow colour, so rather than just have straight black, that's why I've added the blue into the bottom as well. So we're going to build this up along the top and down these sides as well. We will have it a bit lighter around the owl itself in a minute. We're just making sure we're getting the base part for the dark bits first. As you can see, I still have little bits of blobby black in there. I haven't mixed it so well that it's smooth, and that's fine. There's not a problem with doing that because of the way the back of the forest is going to look in the end. So you don't have to mix it completely thoroughly. And I do know there's going to be a tree on this side, but I don't know whether I will cover the whole bit with the tree. So just in case I don't, I'm going down that side as well, because I'm fickle and I change my mind a lot. Right, so I've got that blue without the black now, and I've mixed in some white to it because I want to lighten it up, because this is going to be have moonlight and things, so it's going to be lighter there. And again, I'm going over the tree because it doesn't matter, I can put the tree back in afterwards, and I need to make sure that I've got all the background on, and as the trees are the foreground, I want to make sure that if you see past the tree it's all nicely felted. So as you can see, I've gone round the whole of the owl, but I haven't gone over the owl completely because I want to be able to see where he is so I can put him back in. I'm just looking for where I put the moon there. And then this is just some white with a touch of that blue in it, just a touch, so it's much whiter than it is. And then I'm going to go in with completely white and my trusty template and make a little moon. You don't need a template to do the moon, I'm just lazy. As long as you make a circle. And as we go along, although you don't see me do it, I do felt all this down really well. Otherwise you'll end up with a very, very fluffy picture. So now I've got a dark green, I'm mixing in with black, and I'm mixing some of that blue as well, because this is all going to go along the bottom and that. Do you remember me saying about it didn't matter about the black? Well, this is why, because we're going to fill in down here with blobby colours and things. And so I've decided where the horizon line is behind me, you know, where the ground is going to meet the sky. So I've put that in, and then I'm taking this colour which I've not mixed well again, and I'm just laying it down all over the bottom now. And I'm doing most of that branch that the owl is sitting on. I'm just leaving a little bit to give me a guide to where the branch is going to be. So now I've got the same colour we've done the sky with, and I've mixed a little bit more black in, but now as you can see I'm rolling it and making it into trees in the background, because these are going to be distant trees, you're not going to really notice them, not too much, and I want them to blend in. So if I do them in the sky colour and I just darken it a touch, then you will see the trees there, but they won't stand out, and that's what we're going for. We're going for some background filler of trees, and that's why they're quite thin as well. So pop yourself in a few of those. They can come up past the owl and onto the owl, because we'll felt over obviously when we put the owl in, and you want to be sure that you haven't got any bits just missed. So again, because I know where the owl is, because I've sort of left the picture, I'm putting in the trees behind him, but as you can see, obviously I haven't had to go down to the horizon line. So I'm just filling in around the owl so he's going to look like he's actually sitting in a woodland. Not worried about branches or anything else, I'm just putting in the trunks themselves. And if you look as well, as the trees get closer to you, they're going to get a little bit more colour in them, a little bit darker. But just remember that these are the background trees and they don't matter too much, other than the fact that they need to be there, obviously. What I'm doing here is I decided I didn't want all the brightness of the moon to come quite so far over that side of the picture. I want that a little darker, that's all it is. So I'm just putting in a little bit more of the sky colour just over that way, just to darken it down a little bit. I want the real brightness to be where the moon is now. And again, it's not too important, I'm still going to put things over the top of it as well. So I'm just building up my trees. As I say, as they get closer, they're going to get a little darker. And obviously, as they come closer as well, you're going to start to have a lighter side where the moonlight hits it, and a darker side where this shadow is. So if you feel you need to add in darker sides and things, just darken down the blue that you've already got and use that to make a shadowy side. So if you look now in the background, I don't know why I didn't show you, but I've started to add just some thin bits of branch. And you'll see why I said those trees don't matter too much, because now I'm building the nearer trees and they're going to cover them over and things. So it's not quite, that's why the background trees and the very distant ones don't matter too much, because you're going to cover them all over. But you still want to see them, they're still part of the picture. If you think about it, that as they get closer, they're going to be a bit darker because you're going to see them more. And you will start to need to think about putting branches and things. You don't have to have loads and loads, but you need to start making them look like trees and adding bits of branch. Because I want my plan for the background is to have a very kind of branchy. You're looking up at the canopy, and it's winter, so you will see lots of branches. But just, I say, they don't have to be perfect, just kind of attach each branch, nice a thin branch to a tree, and just pull it around a bit. So the trees I'm working on now are really the midground trees. And now this one, as you can see, obviously it's a lot bigger. I've added into this one now, where the others were just blue and a bit of black, I've added brown into the same. If you can see, I've got the same mixture, but I've now added a dark brown because it's going to be that much closer with some light on it that you would see it's a brown tree. And this is just the way I do my trees. I tend to put plenty of wool down, twist it, and then split bits off and make branches out of that. You don't have to do it that way, obviously. You could put your trunk in and then pop your branches on afterwards. It's just the way I've always done it. But I do like to twist the wool if I'm using carded wool, because it gathers up. Carded wool can be like lots of bits of fibre, so when I twist it, it gathers up the fibres and makes it neater. And you can see now what I mean by I'm covering all the trees in the background. This is how I worked on this picture. I had piles of bits I just keep grabbing and mixing together. So I use bits of what I've used for the ground, on the trees, things like that. So this is just a little lighter because we're going to start to just add a bit of colour and a bit of moss, because it's a very mossy woodland. So I'm putting bits of moss and colour up the tree now. Nice and thinly. That way you'll see the dark colour through it and you'll get the effect of bark. If you plonked it straight down and it was thick, you would lose the whole feeling of a tree. So we're going to keep it nice and thin, and we're going to have some little highlighted edges. And what I've got here is a little bit of white with a touch of blue in, just an absolute hint of blue, and I'm just going up where I think the moonlight would catch the tree trunk. And I'm not trying to do it in a perfectly straight line up, obviously, because tree trunks, even if the tree looks straight up, it's still knobbly and things and goes in and out, so you can have it not perfect. So you can see that little line up the tree now. So this is the big tree that is going to be near the owls, and this is why I said I wanted to make sure I filled in all the background of where the tree is, because I wasn't sure how big I was going to make this tree and if you would see anything on the edge of the picture. You know, the blue I can see up the side of the tree, and I wasn't sure if you'd see that or not, which is why I put all of it in the background. God, that was waffle, wasn't it? Anyway, hope you get what I mean. Again, if you look at the pile of wool I've got here, it's got brown and black. It's got varying dark browns and some black and that in it. And I haven't mixed it well because that's what's going to give the nice patchy look to the tree. And this tree is still behind the owl, so we can have branches going anywhere and we'll still cover some of them up and it will be fine. This is actually just black that I'm going up just the very edge out on the outside, because I want it really dark. But I'm still laying it so I can see the other colours through it. I don't want a block of it. And because we're in a very mossy bit of the woodland, I'm going to take some of this moss and up the tree. Again, some of this will be covered, but as we don't know what's going to be covered, it's the same as the background. You need to put it all in, and then it'll look great whatever you do. And again with this tree, don't forget that on the side next to the owl there will be a bit more light because of the moonlight catching it. So we're going to take out greens and golds, things like that, and we're going to build up that side of it. And now we're going to start on the branch that the owl is going to sit on. So it's the same dark colour I've used with the other trees, and we're just going to map in where we want our branch. And the reason I left it so that I could clearly see the owl is if I did it that way, I know where the owl's feet are. So I knew where to make sure the branch cut across his toes. So we're going to basically do the same thing on this as if it were the tree, and we're going to put the lights and the darks on. So I'm putting some lighter under this branch because I want the shadow under the branch to stand out more, and I want it to make sure that it looks like we can actually look, because this isn't on the floor, this is coming off a tree somewhere. So I want to make sure that we can actually look under the branch. It doesn't look like it's set on the ground. So here we're just adding highlights to the trees and things. So that's the colours we've used so far. I thought that might help you. And that's literally everything, apart from that little bit, because I've got to add it in just to show you the light green. So now I've pinned on my owl picture, which is in the description box below if you'd like it, it's free. And I've cut out the wing because the wing's going to be the last bit I put on. So I'm basically just pinning it down, and then I will take one of the colours I'm going to do the owl with, and I'm just marking everything out now. So it's like, imagine I've got a pencil and I'm just going to draw around the owl and draw around where the wing goes. So I'm not actually really filling the wing in, I'm just making sure I know where it is. Because we'll come back, like I say, and do the wing in a minute. So just take some thin wool, I say make sure it's just one of the colours you're going to use on the owl, and mark him all around. I'm still not doing anything with his feet, I'm not worried about his feet yet, we'll come back to those. If you're enjoying this picture, please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I also have a Patreon as well, if anybody would like to go and have a look at that. That's listed in the box below. But however you support me, I appreciate it, thank you. So now I'm just putting a black line around the wing because I really want to make sure I don't, when I'm putting the browns on the owl itself, I don't want to lose the wing. So this is what this is. Plus the wing would have a dark shadow around it anyway, so I'm not worried. I'm just popping it in black, just making sure I know where it is. And then we'll work in a minute on building up the owl. So you can follow along with me doing the owl the way I've done it if you want to, but I would suggest if you can find a picture of an owl, it is helpful. You can do it in my colours if you want, but it would help you, especially around his face and things, if you had a reference picture. And there's lots of different owls out there, aren't there? So you don't have to do my owl. There can be some quite interesting owls you can do. This is this is only the third bird I've actually felted, so I didn't want to get too ambitious. I don't know, I've done the puffin that you may have seen, and I did the raven, which I love doing. I love my raven, only because I was astonished I did it. And so I thought, oh, I'll do an owl, but this is going to be the last bird of this year, I promise. I couldn't think what else to do, as it's still night time, what sort of creatures I would have at night. And it just seemed to work that it would be an owl, so that's why you had an owl in the end. So this is just the base colour that I've blocked the owl in with, and then I've mixed a bit of beige in with it now. I'm just obviously lightening it up, but I wanted it to still blend in with the under colour that I've put there, which is why I've mixed the two together. But I am trying to lay it, if you look, in the way the feathers would lay. So it's more about the direction. So I'm not going across the owl's head, for instance, I'm coming down like the feathers would lay. So the way I've done this owl is obviously where I'm doing the lights and the darks, but I'm still laying the colours on thinly, so whatever colour I've got below it will show through the next one up, and that's how I'm getting like a more blended shading. So I'm not actually blobbing the colour on anywhere. So I mean, so that it's thick. I try and keep it in thin layers. And I do use this little template from the drawing quite a lot because I really wasn't sure about placement and things. So as you can see, I've marked obviously that line, and then I've just drawn around the face with that's black. So as you do this, if you decide to needle felt this one, just bear in mind the direction of the feathers all the time, because this is carded wool, but I'm still making sure I lay it in the direction I've pulled the wool first. So I've put some pins in where I'll know his eyes are going to be, so I'm going to try and build up the face now a bit around the eyes. So that's why they're there. I put the template back over and popped the pins in through the eyes. So I was hoping it would help. I think it did. I think it's useful to know where the eyes are going to be. And also it would made it so that I could radiate the feathers out around from that area. Because if you look at an owl's eyes, they look like the feathers coming out in a circular pattern. So this is what I was hoping to be able to do. I'm using my template again because I want to get the owl's eyes pretty round, and I thought that was the easiest way for me to do it. I do end up going in and sorting them out a bit, because if you've seen any other of my videos, you'll know that the templates don't really help that much for me, but they do a bit. So I'm basically trying to build up the owl's eyes here. So I've put in the bright orange and the black. I will put some dots, just a small white dot in each eye to bring them to life a little bit as well, just small ones. And then what I also did was I added a little darker orange around some of the eye, because I want that on the eyeball itself, so I want the light colour to pop a bit, so I added a little extra darker orange around. But we haven't finished working on the area around the eyes on that yet. So I've marked in the beak as well, and I'm just adding a little light blue highlight around it on one side, because that's going to help bring the beak out of the face a little bit, so it's not flat. And if you look around the eyes of the owl as well, I've darkened down around the outside a little bit, because they're set back in his head. So I wanted them to look like they were deep, not just on the surface. This is where I say if you can get yourself a reference picture from Google or something of an owl, it will help you a lot to get the face right. Still looking a little bit odd, so I have to go back in and sort some bits out later. Now this side I'm going to make lighter because for me that's where the sunlight's going, that's where the moonlight's going to hit him, so I want to brighten him up on that side a bit. And now I'm starting to try and get in some feather pattern on his little body. If you take a second and look up at his eyes, I don't know why I didn't show you this either, sorry. I put some slightly darker feathers radiating out from his eyes, so you start to get that feel that, you know, you've got that circular part around the owl's eyes. And the owl that I was looking at had light and dark spots on his body, so this is what I'm going for here. Of course, if you have a different owl, you might have different feather patterns and all sorts on yours. So now, because I know where his feet are going to be, I'm going to pop in some feet now and some little black claws. And I'll do the claws on the feet in the same way I did the beak, so they'll be dark and then I'll run a light blue line along them. But you'll see that in a second. Just adding in some shading there, it goes under his belly. Unfortunately, I can't always share the images I use as reference pictures because they're on Google and so they're copyright. So if I have an image that's my own, then will share it and show you, but I can't always do that. This is why I say if you go and have a look on Google, you will find varying images of owls. So I'm just popping in the claws now. Talons? I don't know. What would they be? But I say it's the same way I did the beak, so you've got a dark colour and then in a minute you'll put a little bit of light over it. And if you curve it, it'll give the curve of the claw. Talon, I don't know. So I'm basically obviously building both little feet in the same way. Now what I did was I put my wing template part that I've got on there and I drew around it in the same way I did for the owl's body, and now we're going to do basically the same thing on the wing. We're going to build the wing up to have the look of feathers and things, and I do the wing last so that way I can go over any other things that I need to, like on the body or on like this branch and that. I know it's all complete and I can just go over it. So at the moment I'm building up the wing feather pattern because he has longer wing feathers at the bottom, and then there's shorter feathers up higher on his wing. Well, there's only one more picture to go, isn't there, for the Enchanted Forest series now. Can't believe it's a whole year nearly. I hope you've enjoyed the series. If you haven't seen them all, then there is a playlist for them. Do go back and there's a whole little story really behind it. So now I wanted to just add some hanging moss off from the branches and things, just to give it that kind of end of spooky season feel. This was quite easy, it was just pull some bits down and felt them in. And I added them in on this branch here, and then I did dangle a few bits off the tree branch that goes above where his ear is. So don't forget, if you're enjoying this, please don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. And check out Patreon if you think that might be something you're interested in, if you want more exclusive things. And I really hope you've enjoyed this picture. We're just going to add these few bits now, and I will see you on the next video. I'll let you finish watching this. Thank you very much, and bye for now.